The crowd represents broken dreams, things that didn't work out. Thoughts telling you it's never going to get better. You'll never get well, never break the addiction. The crowd can be negative words people have spoken over us. You're not that talented. You can't accomplish your dreams. If you're going to reach your potential, you have to fight through some things. You can't have a weak, give up, this is too hard spirit. You have to be more determined than what's trying to stop you. You may get knocked down, but you have to get back up again.
Run! Move! You don't need this long plan. You just gotta move. You know, we're living in a society where nobody moves anymore.
The chronic excuse maker. How do you stop making excuses? This is actually pretty simple. And I said it the other day, and you have to realize, you have to know, you have to accept that all your excuses are lies. They are lies, all of them. Think about the things that you tell yourself, the lies you use to rationalize taking the easy road. Taking the easy road and leaving discipline behind. Think about them. You don't have time. That's a lie. You don't have support. That's a lie. You don't have the equipment or the gear. Lies. You don't know the best way. Who cares? That's a lie. Or you're too old, or you're too young. Of course you're too old or too young. Lie. And there's, you're too busy. Sure you are. That's a lie. And you're too tired, or you're too sore, or you're just plain not feeling it. Lies, lies, lies. And the list goes on and on and on. And it doesn't stop if you don't make it stop.
I don't have time to wait for things to get better, to go forward. I don't have time for them to change the policy for me to go forward. I don't have time for the economy to come back for me to go forward. I don't have time for the stock market to come up before I go forward. I don't have time to wait on them to rebuild buildings for me to get a job. I don't have time!
When people laugh at your visions and ideas, it's only because they don't have their own visions and ideas around what they're supposed to do with their life or their careers. People that don't have any dreams for themselves, they tend to be dream killers. People that don't have their own visions, they become vision killers. They want nothing more than to talk you out of your own visions. They don't have dreams for themselves. They don't have any hopes. They're hopeless. They're uninspired, unmotivated. They have no dreams. They have nothing that they're ambitious about. But I want to remind you to continue to dream and dream big.
When you're going through basic SEAL training, the instructors are going to talk to you, and they're going to lie to you. They're going to tell you that it's going to get colder. They're going to tell you that the evolution isn't going to end. They're going to tell you that you're too weak. They're going to tell you that the teams isn't worth it. They're going to tell you that you're too big, you're too small, you're too short, you're too tall. They're going to tell you things to try and get you to quit. And they're lying to you. But you know what else they're teaching you? They're teaching you not to listen. You hear all kinds of negative stuff out there. You can hear it from other people. You're going to hear it in your own head. Don't listen to it. They're lying.
Life is always giving you a test. Trying to give you a way out. Trying to give you an excuse not to show up. You gotta have the mentality to show up every day of your life. No matter what life throws at you, it's our responsibility to show up to the Coliseum of life. Prepare for battle. I don't care what you're going through, what life's throwing at you. It's your responsibility to find your new 100%.
Bounce back. You can get through this. You can get over it. It's not about excuses. We all have them. Stop making excuses and make the adjustment, because you can have what you want, do what you want, be what you want, but you cannot do it if you're coming up with all these reasons why. You should be doing better in your life. I don't care nothing about a recession. I don't care about what's going on around you. It's what goes on in you that counts. It's what you think about you and not what others think.
Don't slow down. Don't get filled up with success. Don't be so quick to pat yourself on the back and think you've arrived.
Everything you've been dreaming about, everything you've been wanting in life, it's right there. It's right there. You got an opportunity, right? But in order for you to get it, it's blood, it's sweat, it's tears. You gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. So I'm not in your life, so I don't know what that looks like for you. I don't know what it looks like to want it as bad as you want to breathe. I don't know what time you gotta get up. I don't know what time you gotta go to bed. I'm not 100% sure. But what I'm telling you is, you gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. And you can't just talk about it, right? You gotta make it happen.
Can you be as hungry and as thirsty when you didn't have anything to drink? When you were starving in your life? Can you get to a place that's higher and still be that hungry, still hate it? Because if you don't hate it, you'll eventually tolerate it. You'll essentially start patting yourself on the back instead of going for the max. Maxing out means that you're still hungry on the last rep as you were the first rep. If you be that hungry, then you can max out your life.
Let me give you a good philosophical phrase. All values must be won by contest. All values must be won by contest. And after they've been won, they must be defended. You say, wow, you've put a pretty heavy task on us. That's what life is all about, a pretty heavy challenge. We don't give large trophies for small effort. If you want to win high health, if you want to win high wealth, if you want to extend a long reach in touching people's lives, you got to engage in some of these extra powerful disciplines. And one is to secure the territory by vigor, and the other is to defend it with equal challenge. Attack. Procrastination. Here's another good one, blame. I engaged in this the big share of my life until I met Mr. Show. I used to blame my negative relatives. I used to blame the government. I used to blame taxes. I used to blame prices. I said, it costs too much. Schultz said, no, let's cover the real problem. You can't afford it. I never looked at it like that before. Schultz said, sir, you must intellectually understand, it's not it that's your problem. It's you that's your problem. It's not out there that's the problem. Out there is like it's been for 6,000 years. You can't cure that. But what you can cure is errors in judgment, errors in attitude, errors in activity, errors in judging results. I found that the errors were within. But see, he had to go after me on that point. Here's the next one, excuses. Wow, we've got a million. I'm too short, I'm too tall. I'm too old, I'm too young. I don't have the money, I don't have the experience. On and on and on with the excuses. Learning to attack. Very important. Procrastination. That's a good one, front and center. We've got to attack procrastination because it's so insidious. It eats up such large chunks of your life and leaves you in a small corner. Putting it off. Delaying, letting it slide. Now, I'm one of the best to attack procrastination because I confess to being one of the all-time great procrastinators. I've done a lot of things, but I've put a lot of things off. Procrastination. I am so good, I could teach it. But I also know the pain of procrastination. I also know the regret that comes from procrastination. I can also show you pieces of my life missing, never to be repaired, because I let it slide. Now see, if we all studied our own lives, and we're trying to help somebody with this insidious disease of procrastination and putting it off, front and center, we use ourselves as best example, because you feel the strongest about your own experiences and your own emotions. Do you think you could help somebody with procrastination? Developing this skill of going back, rehearsing your own life, and coming up with the essence of the emotion and the experience to try to illustrate to somebody how insidious it can become and how devastating it can leave your life and what'll be missing if you let it slide. That's what we call learning to attack the problem. Now underline the word attack. It's very important to go after the insidious.